Hello and welcome to day 5 of our Get Out of the Comfort Zone challenge. This is it. We are wrapping up this week's awesome challenge. It has been so fun. And I love the growth that I've seen in everyone throughout the week, whether you've been commenting in the Healthy Habit Blueprint group, whether you've been private messaging me. The response has been phenomenal, and the questions that are being asked and this starting to dig deep from everyone has been amazing. So keep going with this. This is really what I want to talk about today in day 5 is where do we go from here, right? We started off by talking about being in the comfort zone and in the fear zone and how to move from comfort, take something to start to take it through, and it goes into the fear zone. And then how to get out of the fear zone into the learning zone. And then really what happens in the learning zone and then hopping over to growth, right? Taking from learning to growth. And yesterday we talked about in learning to growth, the big piece, the most important piece for learning is changing something from being willpower action steps, checking the boxes, to making it part of who you are. And a big piece of that is starting to understand and reconnect with yourself. Reconnect with who you are. And so that's what we're going to talk about a little bit right now is what happens in this growth zone. What do we really do, and how do we take this growth zone? Because really the next step off of this growth zone is to go back into comfort, right? Back over to here, so that these things where you've grown have become really comfortable. And then you can make a decision as to whether you want to keep that in the comfort zone, if that's working for you, or if you're ready to take that through the process again. So I want to talk about this growth zone and how important this is and how we can do this. So first of all, the only way any of this works is if you're consistent. I've been talking about this all week. You have to be consistent and you have to keep putting in that effort. If you're not putting in that effort, what happens? The tide takes you down the coast where you don't necessarily want to be. So we need to be consistent. We need to keep working on this. If you went through and did all of this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and did all this, filled all your stuff out and put it to the side over here on your desk, and it gets buried under things, and you don't look at it, you're going to end up down the coast, right? The important piece to this is, what are you going to really follow through with, and what are you going to do? Okay. So what happens in the growth zone? What do we need to be going on in here, right? The first thing, the big thing with this is to be practicing what we're learning. The more we practice what we learn, the more that becomes growth. Okay. So this learning into growth is it just sort of swings in, and there's a little bit of comfort in there. As you learn it, it gets comfortable and doing it. And if you can get stuck in that spot in between, and I think a lot of us do get stuck in that spot in between, but to take it over fully into growth, we need to keep practicing it. We need to practice it. We need to evaluate it. We need to ask for feedback. We need to really dive in deeply and look within ourselves. So those of you who have taken the Habit Finder assessment, I actually recommend that you retake that Habit Finder assessment every 6 months, because that's where we see growth. That's where we see the shifts in our habits of thinking, right? The Habit Finder assessment, for those of you who have taken it, it is not descriptive of you. It's descriptive of your habits of thinking. And habits of thinking, just like anything else, any other habit, can be shifted and can be changed. And the ones that are serving us can be applied more. And the ones that aren't serving us, we can take action steps to remove those. So it's going to be that practice. It's going to be reevaluating. When you are in this growth zone, it is regularly, on a regular basis, reevaluating. Am I growing? Am I learning? Have I slipped back into fear? Am I in comfort? Am I in comfort on the other end? Or have I slipped all the way back to an old comfort place? And that's really important in this growth zone, to be able to do that. So how do we get there? What do we do? So I made a reference yesterday to one of my favorite processes, which is willpower, thrill power, skill power. And that's exactly what this is taking us through. The learning to growth is the willpower, thrill power, skill power piece. Okay. To start that. So we can all do anything for some amount of time. That's willpower. So when we go from comfort to fear, when we're going from fear to learning, that's willpower. Willpower is kicking in. I want this. This is why I want this. This is what I want. Here's my why. Here's why I want this. So I'm going to do it. Okay. And you kick in and you make your check boxes and you start doing, and it's just action, 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 willpower. Blinders on, willpower. Okay. And it works. It will work for some amount of time. What happens when we do willpower, willpower, willpower? We start to see results, which is great. That's what we want. If we don't see any results, our willpower really doesn't last very long. We start to see results, which is fantastic. The willpower, when we see those results, we get the thrill. We get the thrill of the success, the thrill of the change, the thrill of feeling better, the thrill that comes with it. That's what we are going for. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to build, right? Whatever it is, whatever change you're trying to make, you're going to see that success and it's going to give you that thrill. And that thrill power, what does it do? That thrill power kicks back and adds power to your willpower. It's going to keep that willpower going longer. Our willpower goes if there's no results, if there's no thrill power, if we're not doing well with it, if we're not seeing any success, willpower dies. If you're working towards something and you're working, checking all the boxes and nothing has shifted, you're going to look back and your drunk monkey is going to say to you, this isn't working. This isn't, you're wasting your time. You could be doing so many better things. You could be out having fun. You could, whatever it is, right? And the willpower dies. But when the thrill power kicks in, that starts saying to your drunk monkey, look, you said I couldn't do this. You said it wouldn't be successful, but look, it's really successful. Look at what has grown. And that thrill keeps pushing forward on that willpower and keeps feeding that willpower. One of the ways to do this, one of the top things, because we got to keep that thrill power going, because sometimes things take longer than we expect them to take to see the thrill, to get the results that we want. Sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes it's quick, and that's great. And that fires up that willpower really fast. Sometimes it's not so quick. And sometimes in our heads, we have fantasized and we've already gone there, right? We have already gotten to our future version of ourselves, and our future version of ourselves has been so loud. We've fantasized it and we've pictured it, and we realize it's not going as fast as I thought it was going to go. So what do we do in this situation? Well, we start out when we're working in the willpower phase to build up the thrill power. We start focusing on the wins. What is going right? How am I winning? And so one of my favorite tools is I keep by my bed, I keep a notebook by my bed where every night before I go to bed, I write down a minimum of 3 wins of the day. The other thing that you can do if you don't want to do it in a notebook, there is an awesome app called Win Streak. It's a free app, and you can document your wins in there and keep those streaks going. And documenting those wins helps put that thrill power into place, because what we focus on is what grows. So finding even those teeny tiny wins and focusing in on those in our day, even if they really don't have anything to do with what our goal is, the more we focus on the wins, the more we create them. And when you make that a habit to write those wins down daily, if you know that at a minimum, you're going to write 3 wins down every day, you start looking for them in the middle of the day. And not only are you looking for them, you start creating them. You start making decisions that you're going to say, okay, I'm going to do this so that at the end of the day, I can write down this win. And on those days that life gets tough, because we all have days, sometimes we have weeks, sometimes we have months, that life is really tough. When we're finding those wins, that's what we start to focus on, and we get through that season that is tough, however long that season is, minutes, days, weeks, months, whatever it is. It helps us get through it. It helps us not only see the light at the end of the tunnel, but I like to talk about the fact that when it's not just going towards the light at the end of the tunnel, focusing on those wins is finding the light in the tunnel, poking the holes to let the light into the tunnel, finding that goodness. So that's willpower. And then thrill power is balancing out that willpower. But while you're doing willpower and thrill power, you are building skills. And that is the skill power. And that is the growth zone. When we have turned our willpower and our thrill power in the learning into skill power, the skills are what drive us. And the skills, when we can focus on and practice those skills, that's when we are fully in the growth zone. That is making that shift from learning to growth. is when skill power takes over. It's not about checking boxes. It's not about hunting for, oh my God, all the things that I'm just checking them off to say I did it, but it is where it has become a skill. It's where it's become more natural. It's where it's become, I can take this and I can apply it into other places. And that's where the change has happened. That's where the growth has happened. And that is really powerful. And that takes practice, and that takes consistency, and that takes coming in and being very aware of who you are, where you are, what your habits and patterns of thinking are doing. And so it's really important that we take this and don't just make this 5-day, this was great. And you can come back and watch these videos as many times as you want. They will stay here in the Healthy Habit Blueprint group. And so you can come back and watch them whenever you want. And you can take the Habit Finder assessment. I tell people to take it once every 6 months. You can take it and schedule debriefs. If you have not taken it yet, take it. If you have not scheduled your debrief yet, if you took it yesterday and I haven't sent you the link to my calendar, I will be sending those out today. You can schedule your debrief, come on, be part of it, and start to recognize it, start to focus on it, using that. And again, when we do a debrief and we go through your plan, we go through and look at your assessment and look at where these things are in your individual assessment. You're going to want to keep looking at this because we're going to explain it and you're going to ask questions, and that's awesome. And then if you're ready to take this to the next level and say, you know what, I really want to commit to this. I really want to take myself through this. I don't want to have just spent, a few hours this week looking at this and doing this to put it to the side. If you're ready to take that to the next step, then that's where we're going to need to talk, right? Come in. I'm creating a brand new VIP group for those who want to come in and want some extra help. What is this VIP group going to look like? It's going to be awesome. It's going to be talking about this, but as I teach new things, as I do new things, all these things, it's all going to expand and it's all going to keep growing. And the VIP group is going to really be based around the people that come into the group and what those needs are. So the VIP group, there's going to be a special private chat that you're only in it if you are in the VIP group. I'm going to be using Telegram to do that. So if you don't have Telegram, it's a free app. You can get in, you can sign up for it. We'll get you all hooked up into Telegram. You will have access to that Telegram chat. You can ask questions. There's going to be accountability pieces in there. I'm going to be coming in there and sharing things. There's going to be little videos that are going to be popping in there. There's going to be all kinds of great resources. I'm going to be dropping new resources in there. Twice a month, I'm going to be doing Zoom calls for everybody that's in that VIP group. They will be recorded, so if you can't be on them live, that is fine. And you'll have access to those, for as long as you're in the VIP group. And where we're going to be going through some of these stages, and we're going to be answering questions, and we're going to be teaching and learning and growing in this. So, and those who are in the VIP group, if you are interested in using the tones that I've talked about, which are a big piece of my comfort, there is going to be some special packages for those who are in the VIP group to be using those. So, and to have access to those in different ways, the Sephi tones, which I will explain, and some energy work, and all the pieces that I'm going to be doing, that's going to all be part of that VIP group. The VIP group, to be part of that, is going to be $97 a month. You can come in, you can come out, you'll pay month to month. You can join it for a month, leave. But I really believe that if you come in and you stay in, this is where we're going to be. You're going to take this through this growth, and you're really going to have that support. So that's the first place that if you want to come in and really start to take this and give some oomph, I would love to have you in that VIP group. If you want to go deeper, if you want to take this and say, you know what, VIP group sounds great, but I need more. I need curriculum. I need really how to learn, how to grow, how to do that. You want to come into my group coaching. I have an 8-week group coaching program that has an amazing curriculum that's going to be coming together. New group is going to be starting in about 2 weeks, and it's going to include really amazing stuff that's going to be teaching you how to really tap into this and shift these things. Anybody that is in that 8-week group coaching program is automatically in the VIP group. That's part of that perk. They get all the perks of the VIP group, plus the group coaching, which will be weekly group coaching meetings for 8 weeks, as well as a phenomenal curriculum that has been used by thousands of people to help them work through all of these pieces exactly where you're at. Plus those who are in the group coaching will have access to me for questions and for building and all of those pieces. So if you want in on either of those things, if you want in on the VIP group, let me know. If you are interested in learning more about the group coaching, absolutely let me know. And I can get you more information on both of those things. But today, your task really is to look at this: willpower, thrill power, skill power. In which areas where you started building the learning in your action steps. My action steps are written under fear, under this zone, right? And I carried them over here. And these action steps that you wrote out, which of those action steps are you simply checking boxes, right? I can look at my action steps and check boxes. That's willpower. How many of those things are in willpower, and how, and is thrill, are you seeing the thrill power yet? Are you seeing the thrill? And sort of give yourself, what do I need to do to get the thrill? But once I have the thrill, what skills do I need to start doing? So here in my growth, right? For skills, I talked about practicing my new techniques. So here I have where I'm already from learning, my new certifications into growth. And I am definitely in the growth in these things. Practicing my new techniques and with my new certifications, right? That's my growth. That's my action steps. So action steps go into growth. So I want you to start to look at your action steps that you have in learning. You may or may not be ready to pull them into growth yet. You probably aren't if you've taken this across, but you want to start paying attention to those as to where are those action steps coming over. How can you do that? How can you make those skills? And if they are skills that you're missing, what can you do to learn those skills? Because sometimes we need to be able to learn those skills. Is it a class you need to take? Is it someone you need to talk to? Is it just practice that you need to hone in on those skills? What is that? And being really real with where those skills are to then make it so that it's not just checking boxes, but it becomes part of who you are, part of how you think, part of how you operate, because then that's growth. And when it really becomes part of who you are and part of how you think, and the ticker tape across your head is saying this all the time, when that's your ticker tape, you've gone from growth into comfort zone. You've gone from, when that is the way you look at things, the way you operate, you don't have to, you have to think about it, but it's that ticker tape that's there. You think about it, but you've shifted the way you think about things. That's when you've skipped from growth to comfort. So as we wrap up, I would love to hear any feedback, what you've learned, after you do these pieces, comment in the challenge, in the comments underneath this video in the Healthy Habit Blueprint group. Comment your top 2 takeaways from this week. What are the top 2 things that you've taken away and that you are ready to apply in your life? Ready? Let's go do this. Let's go from comfort to fear to learning to growth. Are you ready? I'm ready. I've got mine all mapped out. I'm working on it. This week has been a week of really focusing in on my action steps and starting to put those into play, and getting that willpower, thrill power, and skill power kicked back up. Have a great day. And just so you know, there will be another challenge coming at the end of June, different to this one, next steps in this one. I will be giving you more information, but if you have enjoyed this and you have gained a lot out of this, make sure, first of all, you can share this with your friends. You can share this entire week. You can invite them into the Healthy Habit Blueprint group and tag them on these videos so that they can come back and watch it. They're not going anywhere. They are going to stay there. They will have access to them anytime. Habit Finder assessment stays open always, so they can take, if you are catching this in the future, you can always take that Habit Finder assessment, comment in, bring it in. And if you want to invite people in for the next challenge that's going to be starting the last week of June, the week of June 26th, bring them all into this group, because this group is going to have content and building all throughout until the next challenge starts, and it's going to keep going. So have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. Thank you for everything this week. Let's go. Let's go build this. Bye.